today about this Lionsgate because it's very interesting. But before we do that, let's talk about the question that user 82 had. Am I familiar with the curses that they have in the Bible? User 82. Let's see. Let me just repeat that question. For those of you who are here and wondering about that, I'm going to also put that into this answer is going to be directed towards some things that many people talk about. And the last place they think about, and remember, just curses put on names from the Bible. And so many of the things that I talk about, and I'm going to revert a bit to the ancestors, and when we think in terms of generational curses. Generational curses. First of all, the Bible doesn't curse names. Can't really curse a name. But the Bible generally curses people. So I want to start off by saying that the three Abrahamic religions, Christianity, Judaism, and Islam, the Quran, the Torah, and the Bible, the three books respectively, are some of the biggest books used by black magic and those who practice black magic. Because if you read some of the scriptures, I'm not going to get into which in specific, you will have Jehovah, the God of the Bible, who's supposed to be the creator of humanity, and who's supposed to be the creator of humanity and in whose image we were all made. You'll find, specifically in the book of Psalms and some of the old first 5 books of the Bible, the first 5, curses where persons who did something, they will receive a curse. Their children will also get cursed, and their children's children down the line. And so people who know those verses will turn around and use the energy of those verses to create magic spells against other people. Right? And so what kind of justice is a just God? What kind of justice is it when a so-called just God, you did something, then you pay the price for what you did, but that's not good enough. Your children, their children, your aunts, your uncles, all of them cursed because of something that you did. So these particular things are the reasons why we should have nothing to do with those books, because those books have also been used to enslave many of us and you. In there, all 3 of those books condone slavery of all kinds, condones rape. You know, there are books that I think Deuteronomy where it says you can rape a woman if she's not in the city, but if she's in the country, you can, and do all kinds of nonsense like that. And when you ask the so-called followers of the book, they say, oh, that was back in the old days, and that's why the New Testament was made. That's no longer right. Well, if this is such a great God who knows everything, who sees everything, and who knows no evil, why isn't in his book some of the biggest and wickedest curses on the planet's ever seen you can find in there? So the first thing I want to say is this is one of the reasons I tell people, and I've done a live on this, where I said, you think that so-called generational curses and the enslavement of your ancestors and some of the things that they are trapped in until you do the ancestral work, why they are where they are. And many will say, well, they did this over there and they did that, and maybe they did witchcraft and voodoo and evil things to other people. I say no. Most of it You want to find out where those curses come from? Just step outside of your house, some of you, and walk a block and look for your nearest church. That's where those curses come from. That's where they come from. And if you're able to communicate with your ancestors, and some of you here are, in some way or another, you ask them, because they know the truth. Just ask them, and they'll tell you. That is exactly why many of these same, the three religions I just talked about, the Abrahamic ones, will call your ancestors devils and demons and evil, because your ancestors can give you the answers to what went on in those days, and can tell you why some of those things you can read and see in the book. So user 82, you might be thinking of one of the big lies put out in the Bible, well, put up basically by racists who say that because you might be this, I have a feeling this is where the question is leading to, that and this is important, that when the Bible was, when the great flood, which was it's not the great flood of Noah, was taken from another story, and it is not original to the Bible. It was co-opted and stolen from the Epic of Gilgamesh, which is exactly, they don't even try to dress it up. It's the exact same story of a great flood, and Gilgamesh was replaced by Noah. And in the book of Noah, when Noah's sons, Noah had 3 sons, Ham, Shem, and Japheth, and supposedly Ham was the father of black people, Shem was the father of white people, and Japheth was the father of Asians and all that. This kind of nonsense. I wonder what Noah was. He had his sons had fathered three so-called different nations. And these are the stories that you're meant to believe. And so in part of that, it is said that Noah cursed Ham because Noah got drunk, and Ham was the first of his sons to see him drunk and laughed at his father. And when the other 2 sons came, they covered his father. And Jacob cursed Ham. And Ham is supposed to be the father of black people, so black people are cursed. That was the story perpetuated. But at the same time, Ham fathered Nimrod, who the Bible says was the first great man on the planet. So none of that makes sense. You see, they use the Bible to try to put people down. That's right. And Ham created great cities, the greatest cities, the first great cities upon the face of the earth were created by Ham. So we must not put so much stock in fairy tales. We must not put so much stock in fairy tales. And I suggest you put more stock and energy into finding about who you are, and not in some fairy tale book. That's not just a fairy tale book, but some so-called holy book that has nothing but curses and witchcraft and all kinds of I say nonsense, but all kinds of serious things in them to help keep you entrapped and tied to this physical reality. Okay, so I'm going to be finished with that, and I'm going to go straight to the Lion's Gate, you guys. The Lion's Gate portal. This portal is created in a particular time, and many people refer to it as the portal of abundance, but I'm sure you're sick of hearing about the abundance thing. Right? And what I have to say about that is abundance is your birthright. Abundance is your birthright. And there are different times in the year where the energy or energies are geared towards certain aspect of what you're here to be. Right? So what the Lion's Portal is great for doing is pointing you to where the law of rhythm is working. Where the law of rhythm is working. You know what? I'm looking for, right, many stories of floods in different cultures. Yes. Jaldabaoth, I don't know what you mean. One word phrases don't work for me. Don't be lazy. Write the whole question out. I've seen people giving offerings to the earth today. Okay, yeah, many people do that. Yaldabaoth, Yaldabaoth, they do mistake it with Yaldabaoth. Yaldabaoth has to do with the when Gaia Sophia, and this is in the Gnostic texts, right? Yaldabaoth was the creature created when Sophia went against the rule of creating planets and decided to bring her whole self down here. Gaia Sophia. This is going towards the Gnostic texts. And he was created as a result of that abnormality. So I don't understand where Yaldabaoth comes into all of this. Yaldabaoth was the creature created when Gaia, who was one of the great creators, this is according to the Gnostic texts, decided to bring herself down. She fell in love with one of her creations and decided to join it. And that upset the balance in the universe, according to the Gnostics. I don't see the relation between the two. So let's get to some practical things that we can do during this time, because these energies are real and conscious participation is required, or otherwise you miss what is going on, right? So you want to consciously participate, right? In other words, know what the energy is and know what it is that you're participating in so that you can benefit. You can benefit. So those who are not aware and unconsciously are a part of this, they get to benefit. Yeah. The energy still benefits them. Right? But not as much as those who then act, because when you're unconscious, things are happening to you in situations like this, right? Things just happen to you. And then you might not know why, but they happen, and even some benefit can be derived from that. But when you're conscious, when you get certain feelings or certain emotions or certain things are happening, you know why, and you participate and roll with it. When you're unconscious, you're scratching your head about that thing that you're feeling in your stomach, and you're not sick. You didn't eat something that turned your stomach wet. You don't. There's nothing wrong with you physically, but you have this energy, this anxiety going on within you, and you don't know why. So you don't do the thing that would help ease it along. So you suffer with it longer than you should. when you're unconscious about things. You don't know when you're ignorant. You don't know. But when you know, and you know, oh, this is the time when this is the 888 portal, and one of the things that is happening is it's actually coming in and illuminating, and anything that is not of me and not good for me goes. But because I know that, I sit with myself and I allow, and I work with the energy, and I work with the slipstream, not against it like a salmon. So this is why it's great to be here, right? This is why it's great to be here. I want to give credit to a man by the name of Master Sri Asher Khan, who also, and he's on YouTube, who also did something on this. And I watched his offering on it. Wonderful. So give credit where it's due. Thank you all for being here. Thank you for sharing and liking this live. I really appreciate it. Thank you so much. Right? So let's start off first of all. What is the Lion's Gate? I kind of explained it. It's an energy that comes in, and its title, it's big. If you had to describe it with one word, it would be abundance. The road where the law of rhythm is working to help you in bringing forth the abundance, in terms of not just bringing you money and all of that like a lottery ticket. That's not what it's about. Divine doesn't work that way. Just look up what happens to lottery winners and you'll know why. Right? So it's about things that will do that. Ideas. Actions. All of a sudden you get an idea, and you get and during this time an action, or you had this dream or something from the past and it comes back. Right? It's being brought by that energy because there's something in it for you. And when you act on it, because of course you're conscious about what's going on, then certain things will happen for you just naturally. Right? Just naturally. So, when we're talking about this, it's the 888 portal. Not just the 88. This year it's the 888. Previous years it's the 88, the 88 portal. This year it's 888, meaning that the energies are being amplified 3 times over as opposed to the usual 2. And 8 is the numerology number, the number in numerology that is the abundance number. 8. And then when you add another 8, it triples it up. Right? It triples it up. 888. Why is it 888 this year? Because 8. The 8th of August is when this portal opens. So 8. This year, the number 2024, when you add it up I can't say the word today. In numerology, let me escape that and do it another way. When you add it up in numerology, it's 8. 2024. 2 plus 0 is 2, plus 2 is 4, plus 4 is 8. That's where the third 8 comes in, right? And so dreams and ideas and even opportunities that maybe you didn't jump on in the past will come back around for you to be able to jump on them and take advantage of them. That's number one. I'm going to give a number of things that this is going to be about so that you can take action in a very conscious way and take advantage of this energy. Now, if you don't do anything today, I want to remind you, if you didn't do anything today for the 888 Lion's Gate, no worries. You got tomorrow, you got this whole gate is for the month of August. So take action on anything that comes up during this time. Any ideas, any dreams, any missed opportunities that come back around, you jump on them and start taking action. Start taking action on them. Now, if there's something that's going to take, the action's going to last 2 months, doesn't matter. You started it here. And once you start it, that energy folds in and starts working with you. And once it's folded in there, because you're taking action, it stays. And that becomes a part of the culture of that creation that you've made. And you continue with it 2 years from now, it still has that 888 activity going on within it. You don't get another chance with the 888, because next year it's going to be back to the 88. So this year you wrap that stuff in with the 888 consciously, working with the divine consciously. Everything you do in regards to this Lionsgate will have the abundance number, the most powerful one there is, the 888 working with it. 888 working through. Anything you create here will have that energy within it. And once it's sown in there, it's there for good. You got a business idea and you haven't started, you start it now. You take radical action now, that business will have the 888 roped into it for as long as it exists, working on your behalf. Especially if it's a conscious and spiritual business. I say business because that's easy to talk about, but anything else that you're doing, relationships, working with yourself, connection, all of that. Okay? So that's the first thing to know. That anything that you start and do in conjunction with this energy will have the amplification of the 888 roped in and wrapped into it, mixed in, for good, for good. Now, the other thing that is happening here is, the sun, our sun, as the Mayans call it, Kanich Ajwa, because we in English don't have a name for our sun. We just call it the sun. Well, there are many suns, right? I think the Egyptians have a name. Many of you, that's the most popular name for the sun. Can anybody give me the name? Can everybody give me the name? Go ahead, let's participate together. There's 36 of you in here, and I know many more are watching from the outside. Give me the name of yes, Ra. That's right, Michelle. Ra is what the Egyptians called our sun. And that sun illuminates our planet, illuminates the body. Well, the Lionsgate coordinate and lines up with the sun in Sirius, with the Sirius sun, which is also known as the Great Central Spiritual Sun. That sun is the sun that has the photon belt, of which we're in the middle of right now. That photon belt is when the highest level of consciousness hits our planet. Human beings evolve, things change, and we raise as a species to the next level of where we're going to be. That's the sun that's now illuminating brightly. And that sun shines upon your soul and your spirit. It is the divine sun. It's not a sun that they talk about. It's not a sun that they talk about. It exists physically and spiritually. I call it the Great Central Spiritual Sun because it is an elevated sun. It is an elevated past the level of our sun. And it is also a physical sun. It takes over 1 million years because our sun revolves around that sun, the Great Central Spiritual Sun. Our sun revolves around that. It takes it about 1 million Earth years. It's over 1 million Earth years for one revolution. Right? So if you wondered why you've never heard about that sun in school, that's why. Because they don't want you to know about the thing that's going to help to evolve you. All right. Thank you all. So that's what's happening now. So you can, with your conscious thought, help invite. You don't have to invite it. It naturally happens. But there is a difference between when someone consciously involves themselves in an activity versus someone who's just there. A higher level of acquisition happens to the one who's aware and participates in awareness, in conscious awareness with the energy, right? So this also helps to open energy centers and help us expand to the divine. Some say God, some say the universe. I don't use any of those terms. Oh, by the way, let me go back a little bit. You notice I talked about the great central sun? We have just below this blue stone that I'm wearing is the solar plexus. Did you notice the word solar? You have a sun within you. The sun that is within you is that sun, because that's where you came from. The great central sun, that's where your ancestry lies. That's why it's important for you to know about your ancestors and to connect with them and to cleanse the ones that came here with you and clean up the house. It's your job. Right there to the left, to the right. You want to start your ancestor clearing and cleansing? You do it now. You do it during this 888. It gets done. Now you have this additional assistance. I have created a course systematically teaching you how to do ancestral cleansing and clearing. You don't have to figure anything out. It's all laid out simply for you. It's a course I created here for a song and a prayer. You can get that because that will cleanse and clear everything in your bloodline here and help you to fully connect without any impedances and blockages with that great central sun. With that great central sun. And let's see here. I've got my little list here. One of the things that you'll also get, and if you do, it's great to trust it because your level of intuition will be amped up. The level of communication with you and your divine self will be made clearer. You will receive many more messages. Hi, Delia. Hello to everyone who's here. And you'll get more messages, more intuitive messages. So when you get those messages, write them down. Whatever it is that you're hearing, spend a little time and give it some conscious attention. Give it some attention. Maybe it'll just be a message, but if it's something for you to take action on, ooh, that's the best thing, because you take action on that, you are going to be taking action on stuff that's going to help you out so much. It's going to help you out so much, right? Because the energy is being amplified here. And so any messages to take action, please do so. Or you might have messages about what's going on. This is a time. So while you're in that time, let's say you're getting messages clearer than you ever have. Now's the time to go, okay, I'm getting them clear now. Can I get it and clear this so that even after this, The messages are still as clear in September, October, in the future as they are now. And this is a time for you to kind of get that energy in and become closer to who you are, closer to the divine, closer to your higher self, your ancestors, your inner child. Because now it's the opportunity. Ooh, you want to do that? Because it's not only about stuff coming in, it's about stuff that you want to do. And if it's geared towards your spiritual progress, man, everything's coming to your assistance on an energetic level. Everything. And let me tell you something. You want to make your spiritual success the number one priority. You want to make anything spiritual the number one priority, because everything that is successful, everything, so whatever, however you want to categorize it, everything is spiritual. And let me tell you and emphasize even further, there is no material success without spiritual success. I repeat, there is no physical success without spiritual success. You might say, how about those people out there, you know, the so you call them, I'm only going to use the word once, the so-called elites. They're not elites at all. Even they are aware of this. Even they're aware of this. I saw Elon Musk on this app talking to, what is his name? Interviewed by the Canadian psychologist who was very, very, very famous for his views on the relationship between men and women. I forget his name. Now, these two men uphold the old system, but they were talking together about consciousness and the eye of Horus. And one of them mentioned, not Elon, the other guy, mentioned how if you are not using the eye of Horus, which is not the eye of Horus, it's your eye, this eye, then the system will give you the eye of sorrow. So you might think that it's only people who are into the spiritual woo-woo stuff that talks about this stuff, but those guys who are out there and those people who are doing their stuff, they're just as spiritual. They're just self-centered about it. So they're telling you because they have to tell you the truth. Jordan Peterson is the name of the guy. Jordan Peterson and Elon Musk were talking. Let me tell you, when these guys do interview, they're not talking spirituality. But right then and there, they were telling you exactly. Very spiritual, not religious. Because a lot of the people and the politicians that come up to you and that speak to you on TV and they talk about Christ and all that, they need to play the game for the people who are in the book. And they'll talk about Jesus and they've got a church that they belong to that they show up to every once in a while just so people can see them in it. But they ain't doing that. They're not doing any of that. They're dealing with the occult side of things. Because those guys know that religion is for the people who need something to believe in. Not those who want to deal with true and real power, which is nowhere near over there. You have to go to the mystical side for that. And when you're dealing with the energy of this, you're dealing with the mystical side of things. Not the limited physical thing of bending the knees to some creature, hoping that you'll get salvation and all this other nonsense. Even within those religions, they have their mystical side. Judaism, Kabbalah. The Kabbalah is for those who really want to know the truth. And of course, Judaism is for those who need to be told the truth, according to whoever it is that's telling it to them. The Muslims, they've got Sufism. That's the mystical side of Islam. Those are the ones, those on that side, they're working with the true nature of how things actually work. And those who are the Muslims, they're being told what they need to hear according to whoever it is, whatever it is that whoever is telling them wants them to hear. And they give them a book, just to keep them busy. And of course, the Christians, they've got their mystical side, but they've kept it more secret than anybody. Gnosticism is the mystical side of Christianity. But they murdered all of the Gnostics so that they can have their way. Some of the early saints were levitating and performing all kinds of miracles. They got rid of them. There was a side, the Gnosticism was a mystical side, and there were those who opposed what the church did to try to eliminate its mystical side. They were known as the Cathards. Have you ever heard of the Cathards? Probably not most of you, because they wiped them out. Because they did not want to participate in the lie that later became what we now know as Christianity. Right? So when you participate in this kind of thing, the Lion's Gate, the energies of the great central sun, and all of that, you are participating on the side of truth, the mystical side, the side where everything happens. That is why I say you must be conscious in the participation. Because those who are in the occult, they're anything but unconscious. They know exactly what they need to do to get what they want. And we must be the same. We must be the same. Now, where was I? I just had to throw that in because there are many people, that some of you might be here who might be taking this, especially some of you who have heard about the Lion's Gate portal for many, many years. It's just become something trite. Okay, it's another one, August 8th, Or those of you who are not used to seeing things in this kind of way. Because maybe you were brought up to follow a book, like I just gave the examples. Maybe you were brought up where everything was that you were headed and pointed to as physical, and very little of it from the non-physical part of existence. So it's very not easy for you to identify with those aspects of your existence. I want to point out, I said that, I went through that little diatribe to point out why it's important and why you've been kept away from it. And you don't need, all you need to do is know. Notice I haven't told you to go get any book. Because you simply need to be aware. This kind of stuff, you simply need to be aware. You simply need to be aware. Right? So the next thing that's happening with this energy is a cleansing. A natural cleansing and a natural clearing. And it naturally happens. So earlier I mentioned in this clearing, if there's something that you're holding that needs to go, then it will start to be lifted. And for some of you, you might be feeling a certain way, not feeling yourself, and wondering why. Nothing's wrong, you're eating healthy, you're exercising, all of that. Well, look to this energy, because it's taking stuff out of you that's holding you down. And you simply participate with it. And you simply close your eyes, you talk to your higher self, and you say, please assist me. You're already getting the assistance, but you see, it's about consciously participating. That's what it's about. This energy, for you to take advantage of this Lion's Gate 888 portal, you want to be participating in it in a conscious way. So you feel a certain way, you might go outside, stick your foot in the ground, boom, and say, I just want to release this thing that I got. I know I'm okay and everything, but you look here to this, you also help me. You speak to your higher self. And then you also For those of you who are not aware, the powerhouse of your evolution is in the stomach, the energetic stomach. That's what's holding all the stuff that maybe you suppressed or you couldn't get rid of whenever it happened. That's who's holding it. And when this energy comes in, it's working with your, what I call the belly brain, or the intelligence of the stomach. And so you connect to it just with your intention. If you don't know what that is, stick around till the end of this live. We do that exercise at every live. And you want to stick around for that, because we are working with that energy, and then you'll get a taste of what it's like, because not many people talk about the belly brain. They talk about the chakras till the cows come home. Those things are nothing compared to this. Because if this is not getting a chance to do its work, you're going nowhere. I don't care what kind of chakras you got. So the belly brain, you connect with that and you say, okay, I'm not going to hold on or suppress or stop you from releasing that stuff that I have. I'm going to let you do it. Let you release. And you drop into the heart. And you simply do that with gratitude, love, and compassion for yourself. And you don't let this guy get in the way, because you might get something that's coming up, and what comes up with it is the feelings that were there when it came, or the story that you've been telling yourself all these years might start to surface as that goes. Drop the story, because if you're in a story, you're up here. And you just simply sit there in gratitude and thanks. No judgment, just acceptance and acknowledgement, and you let that shit go. Because this energy, thank you so much, this energy in this 888 portal is about letting things go. Don't rationalize, oh, I had this happened to me, that happened, No victim mentality. This is the divine coming in and giving you a helping hand. And you just simply cooperating and accepting and letting the stuff that needs to go. Drop the story is a great advice. Thank you, Kim Collective. Good to see you again, Kim. It's been a while. All right, let's see. Before I get to the next thing, let's see if you have any questions, because I've dropped a lot here very, very, very quickly. So I'm going to take a break by looking to see what questions you have, and then making some announcements, of course. Michelle, I felt you implied, I mean, no disrespect, I believe in energy, but I also believe in Jay. Okay. I believe in energy, but also believe in Jay. I don't know what you mean. You're talking to Michelle. Okay. It's from Roseberry to Michelle. Okay, no worries. Oh, I see. You guys were just having a conversation. Okay, for Jordan Peterson. That's right. Men Are From Mars author. Oh, no, who's that guy? I forget his name. But yeah, it was Jordan Peterson, of course. Okay, fantastic. For those of you who are here, I just looked through everything, all your questions. For those of you who are here, we are Launching our spiritual community soon. We've had some things that we've had to work through with the platform that we're launching it on, and we're going through that at the moment. So if you are, this is a situation where many of you are spiritually awakened, right? But unlike, say, most of our religions, you can't just go down the street and go to a place and meet people who think the way you think, or who can help you, or who you can turn to, or where you can get mentorship, where you can get community. None of that exists really for us at a grand level, right? And so it's a lonely journey for many of us, but that's changing soon, because we're creating a community for those who are spiritually awakened and those who want to share, learn, receive mentorship, teachings, energy work, grow their consciousness, gain knowledge, wisdom, all in one place. We are creating that as I speak. Energy Flow and I. And it's going to be not our community for you, it's going to be all of our communities. And I can't wait to get that thing launched. We just have some things we have to iron out first. And we weren't able to do them before the first, but we are working, and we're roping that into this 888 situation, right? And there's a couple of things we have to add to it. But rest assured, this is coming. Now, for those of you who are interested in spiritual mentoring, you can do so by simply sending us an email. Click on the link in the profile and send us an email there. By the way, also when you go and press the link in the profile, you can sign up for our newsletter. Really easy. Sign up for our newsletter so we can keep you posted about all that I've just said. If you have an issue, because every once in a while some people have issue finding the profile, finding the link and all of that, just DM me. And when you DM me, give me your name and your email, and I'll add you to the list. Name and email, and I'll add you to the list. Okay? Kendra is trying. Am I Hindu? No, I'm not Hindu at all. I'm not of any religious persuasion, Kendra. This does look like a little bit like the headdress of a Sikh, but it's not. People in the Caribbean wear this all the time. Certain people, not everyone, of course. You'll see this all the time. It is not the same a Sikh center. They've got like a lining that you can see under it, and it's a little higher. Oh. No, yes, so I am of no religious persuasion. I am a student, a cheerleader of consciousness. That's why I'm here. It's for the growth of consciousness on this planet. And consciousness cannot be held down by a box. And every single religion has a box, has a container, and within it are limitations. And consciousness cannot be limited. We want that to be as much a part of our expansion as possible. Similar to Santana Dharma. I'm not familiar with Santana Dharma. Kendra. I'm not familiar with that. So this is, but I'm glad that's a great question. This is why I say we need to have a community. You know, the Hindus have the ashram, the Christians have their church, and the you know, Judaism have their synagogues. People have their temples and all of this. But what does the one who wants to expand their consciousness without any limitations or religion or particular system that they have to go into and adhere to certain rules, conditions, and terms? What of that person who has done all of that and is ready to move beyond that? There's not much for that person. There's not much for that seeker. And that's the community that we're building. The community for the seeker who is ready to expand beyond any system here on planet Earth, who's ready to connect fully to themselves without any third-party person, place, system, or thing. That's the community that needs to be built. So thank you for asking that, Kendra. So let's get back to the Lionsgate 888 portal. I talked about cleansing. So let me do a quick review for those of you who have just come in and didn't hear the first half, right? It's kind of the pattern I give. So if you ever miss anything, all you have to do is spend 20 minutes to a half hour, and I rope it in along with new information that comes in. It's just the way I work. The Lionsgate, that's every August 8th, this gate opens up. This one, however, is very different. It is magnified not just by the 88, but by the 888. So everything that I talk about that is being brought in by this energy has a amplification of 888, which is the number of ultimate abundance, by the way. And anything that you do and start during this time, it doesn't have to be on the date. Just start it this month. And that energy will be a part of whatever it is that you start. An idea, something that you're doing for yourself, something that you're doing for a relationship, making a business, whatever it is, will always be, that 888 energy will always be inside of it. Doesn't ever leave, because it was created and birthed and intertwined with that energy. Okay? So I went on to say, if you have dreams or ideas that you didn't capitalize on or take advantage of or go follow through with, or opportunities that were missed, they may come around. If they come around, it's not a mistake. Don't look at it as, oh yeah, that was something I did a while back. Oh, I don't know why that idea has come back. It's come back for a reason. This is why being conscious of things and being mindfully aware. We hear the term mindfulness, and it's usually associated with meditation. But this is the one thing that if you strictly associate it with meditation, you're missing out on its most important component, which is to be aware of what is going on within yourself and around you. That practice in awareness, as I mentioned at the last live, is a spiritual practice in and of itself. Being mindfully aware of things. Then when the divine sends something to you, oh, you can see it because you're paying attention. When something that isn't for you, good for you, or not anything that you like tries to sneak in somewhere, you see it coming. It's also a way of shrinking the ego and bringing it into its proper place. Because when you're mindfully aware, you're also mindful when the ego is sneaking around wanting to take control of the boat or the car. Because, you know, it wants to be the driver, but as I've always said, it will drive the bus right into the ditch if you allow it to take charge over spirit, who should always be the driver. We also talked about the energies of the sun, because during this time, 888, or the 8th month and the 8th day, This is when we're in alignment physically with the sun of Sirius, the Sirius sun, the great central sun. And that is the great central spiritual sun illuminates your light bodies, your soul, and the aspects of you that are not physical. Whereas our physical sun illuminates the physical side of us. So when you're consciously aware of this, you can participate in that. And just your conscious participation gives you another level of acquisition over just willy-nilly being there and, ignorance is bliss. No, in this case, ignorance is not bliss. It's going to cheat you out of what's here for you. So I'm glad you guys are tuning in. Energy centers, emotional stuff. It'll shine on your emotional body. It'll shine on your energy centers. And anything that isn't there, that's not good for you, all of a sudden be lifted out on its own. So if you're feeling a certain way and you don't know why, you're healthy, everything is fine, sit down and release, cooperate with the energy by not holding on to things, but by going into the heart, being grateful, loving and compassionate for yourself. And just those attitudes are heart-centered emotions. Those emotions are heart-centered. So if you're in them, you're in the heart. And then you let this, the factory of your spiritual expansion, the belly brain, do the work of releasing stuff. You just let it go. Let it go. Let it go, because it's a cleansing. It's naturally going to cleanse things. If you have it, if you don't feel it, then you're fine. There's nothing to cleanse. But if you do, you might feel that, right? Your intuition, the streaming of messages from the divine to you may start to amplify, may start to become more and more prevalent. My recommendation is listen to your intuition. And not only that, take this opportunity to ask your higher self, ask the divine, to sharpen your intuition to the point where it remains where you can receive messages. Cleanse and clear out anything that gets in the way, that filters any messages, communication, and connection to the divine. Oh, the assistance will come for that. And suddenly, the messages you get from the divine will be clear. What's the divine? The divine is you. The divine is the aspect of you that is eternal. Your spirit is the divine that I'm referring to. And you are the divine in the physical. So you want the connection, the communication between the divine, that is you, spirit and eternal, to have no filters or barriers, impedances or interrupters between you and yourself. This is the time that if you have that desire, you speak to yourself. You simply need to speak to yourself. And if it's a high priority and a deep desire, boom, you will receive the assistance you need in that regard. And I emphasize that because when we get on this journey, one of the biggest issues that we have is we don't know the voice of our own spirit. We do not recognize the voice of our own selves. Because from the day you're born, you're unplugged from yourself and plugged into the reality down here, the false one. So when you're young, you know full well the voice of your own spirit and all of that. No problem. But then the system works on you. And then you slowly forget. And you start tuning into the thing that you've been plugged into. And you can't help that. You're a child. You have to go along with what the people are raising you. You have to go along with them. You can't help it, right? You're a child. But when you spiritually awaken, What automatically happens when you realize, oh, this whole thing over here is a lie, you start unplugging from it. The first three plugs that happen, the first plugs that come are, I don't know what that is, but that ain't me. And those plugs are to be plugged in to your spirit, your ancestors, the benevolent ones, and the true you, which is the child within you. And so that's all going to feel new. And so the voices that have always been there are dominant because they've been there a while. And the voices that were suppressed and shut down and that you were disconnected from seem to be the ones that are the strangers, the strange voices. But you know the voices that have always been there aren't the ones, but you don't know the voice of your own self. So this is an opportunity to get into alignment and recognition of the voice that is yours. Because this reality unplugs us from ourselves, and we become very familiar with the things that have nothing to do with this. They're common, but they are not the original voice from here. This is a time where you can clean house and become very acquainted with the original, authentic voice. Your original and authentic voice. And it will help with knowing of the self. Because once you recognize your true voice, then you know exactly who to listen to. You're not sitting there wondering, what is that? Is that me, or is that, that sounds like that crazy guy that has always been around. All through meditation? Good question, user 82. No, I'm talking about being in your conscious awareness. Adding meditation, yes. But this energy that's here that I'm talking about, user 82, is about you using it and being conscious of it. Meditation, yes. Absolutely. But then when you're sitting down and you're going, hey, I want to make sure that any of the foreign voices are gone so I get to know my own voice because I can hear it really well more now than ever. I want to keep that. You want to do that while you're fully aware. When you're fully aware, like you are right now watching me on this live. And you talk to the divine just like you're talking to me right now. You don't need any middleman. You don't need me. You just start talking to the divine. You say, hey, I want to participate in this energy, and I want to make sure that I get to know the voice of my own spirit, my own spiritual team, and my own self. My spirit, my team, and myself. And how do you know that voice when it's yours? Your spirit, your ancestors, yourself. Communicate. Take note on this. Because you won't hear this too many times anywhere else. And I'm not saying that just to brag. I am bragging. But I'm not just saying that just to brag. But I say that because I want you to know yourself. Because you, from the realm of the divine, the realm of the I, the you that is creator, speaks to you in a kind. Write the word kind down. Don't forget this. Kind, loving, caring, gentle, and soft. Kind, loving, caring, gentle, and soft. And you must make sure that you are able to hear, because I said gentle and soft, and the voice of your higher self, your ancestors, and even your own inner child can be drowned out by the noise going on in your head or in your environment. Because that's how this reality operates. So if you're used to noise, you want to quiet yourself so that you can become acquainted with the kind, loving, caring, soft, and gentle voice of your higher self and spiritual team. They're not screamers, yellers, or door kickers or threatening. You see, like some of those other voices. And you ask for assistance to quiet the noise. And User 82 talked about meditation, and you do meditation to help quiet that noise. But now you got what I call in the Monopoly game, pass go, whatever it is they call it. You got the fast forward button here, 8888 portal, 888. Use that energy. Use that energy. All right. Hey, Nick Marie, good to have you here. I'm glad you made the live. Nature has been my quiet place of connection to my ancestor. Fantastic. Great to see you here. Kind, loving, gentle, and soft. That's right, C4 yourself. Kind, loving, gentle, and soft. That is the voice of your spirit and your spiritual team. Patient. You can add patient to that. Let me tell you, my higher self was very patient. Still is. How long is this possible? You talking about the 88 portal? All month of August. If you didn't do anything today, don't worry about it. Start tomorrow. The energy is still very, very strong. If you got something, you start tomorrow. Start at 1 a.m. in the morning. Start tonight if you can. But I want you to be rested, so if you have to go to work tomorrow and such, you're fine. Stay alert and vigilant with one's thoughts. Yes, because this energy is an amplifier. You don't want it to be amplifying thoughts that are punishers. This makes my heart and spirit happy. Oh, fantastic. Fantastic. All right. So let's move forward. We talked about the cleansing energy. Now, this is very, very, very interesting. And you can take this into every time you do your shadow work or inner work. When this energy is working within you, it creates space. And what happens in that space? New energy comes in to take the place of the old stuff that no longer served you. New energy. What kind of new energy? The energy from your higher self. No, nothing better. Nothing better. By the way, if you guys want to start this process on a big step and a big foot forward, stay tuned till the end here. I'm probably going to spend 15 minutes more, 15, 20 minutes. Then we're going to get into our contemplation, a great contemplation, guided contemplation, where we can participate with this energy officially all together. So that'll come up in about 15 minutes or so. Okay? So when this old energy is lifted out and you release it and you don't hold on to it, you let the shit go. Now you can bring in the new energy that your higher self has been holding on to for you on your behalf. And that can drop down from there into you, into the physical. All right? Now, another thing to expect here is that the true you, your true self, and this is going to be something that you have to pay attention to, will be illuminated. Right? In other words, the true you, some of which you may not even be familiar with. You might not be familiar with at all. Because it's not going to be an identity. It's not going to be a highlight of the programming that you have about who you are. You see, more of your authentic self will start to shine through. You must allow that. Now, we hear that all the time, right? Oh, authentic self. I say it, right? You hear it say, I say it. But much of your authentic self might not be that familiar to you. So if it's that way, get acquainted but not feeling familiar about anything. Get rid of all of the identities of who you think you are and all of that. As Sri Ashokana said, don't think about it. Just be. And let that settle in, because those are aspects of you that are coming in that you may not be familiar with from the perspective of this life and this body. You see, because part of the challenge is this body, the physical side of you are, doesn't know who you are. But you do. So the feeling of the new you, the part of you that you're not acquainted with, may feel a little different. That's a good thing. Be good, but not feeling like your normal self. Normal self. Because that self may have stuff that needs to go. And this energy is helping you to get there. The other thing that these energies will do, this 880 portals, is help you manifest things that will help you with your purpose, help you with the reason why you are here. Right? And so this is why you want to be in tune and be mindful, aware, and be conscious in your participation, because you might get things that come in that's going to help you to do that thing that you've been planning and doing and working on, or that thing that you want to start. Right? Very important. Opportunities. And for some of you, it'll be kind of a kind of rebirth, which may again bring in the energies where you have progressed and you've evolved with new energies coming in that you're not familiar with. So just be, allow, and embrace. Just be. Allow and embrace. And don't put an identity on anything, because that's coming from the mind. That's not coming from the divine. Don't put an identity on anything. Thank all of you for being here. Thanks for liking the live. Now, you want to have trust and faith. Trust and faith in nothing other than yourself and your higher self. That aspect of you will guide you in the right way in every step of the way. Even if it's not something that looks like it makes sense. This is the month where making sense is not something that you're going to be focused on. I repeat, this is the month where you're not going to focus on what makes sense. You leave that for the things that you must make sense of, like maybe you're working at work and Of course, it's physical. So it's something that you must be sensible about. You must be in your senses. You must be in your mind about. But when it comes to this, let spirit guide and don't worry about where things are going to go. Right? Some of us have control issues. We gotta know. We gotta control. This is when you want to drop that. Because it isn't like you're losing control, my friends. You are removing the control away from the mind, which is very limited in what it can see or do, and you're ceding it to the higher self. You are not your mind, but you are your higher self. That's all you're doing. So you might have faith in that process. Thank you guys for raising it to 30K likes. Thank you so much. So that people who might be interested in these messages can be here, because that's how the algorithm works. Again, as another announcement, if you want to join, please join. Not please or anything. You don't have to do anything. No skin off my back. But if you want to join the spiritual community that we are creating with like-minded people, because it's not like you can just step out of your door and find a place where we can speak like this around the corner from where you live. Not at all. But we're going to make it better. You don't even have to step out of your house. And we're creating a spiritual community where we can learn together. Mentorship, courses, teachings that go way deeper than what we talk about in the live. Even though I know my lives are deeper than most when it comes to this stuff. But there, you got it all. Community, mentorship, friendship, all of it in one. All of it in one. Like no other place. Because when it comes to people like you who want to embrace the spiritual side, and you're done with all of the middlemen, and you're done with all of the religions, and you're done with all of the systems that plug you into something else and has, rules and things that you need to do, that have nothing to do with you connecting with self, knowing self. You're done with that. This community is for you. This community is for you. Absolutely. Now, this is my favorite part. I make no bones about it. I said earlier that my biggest focus is the growth of consciousness on planet Earth. It's the biggest focus because that's where it's at. When it comes to existence, the name of the game is consciousness. And when you raise your consciousness, then everything raises. When you raise yours. And this energy is going to raise the level of consciousness on the planet. But it can only happen for those who want to do it. Those who want to do it. What happens when you raise the level of consciousness? When you raise the level of your consciousness, all of a sudden certain things that used to be a part of your life start to fall away. Because they can't stay in the same frequency. When enough people do that, then the level of the consciousness of the planet, of humanity rises. What do you think is going to happen once the collective consciousness gets past the level of, say, war? War cannot exist on this planet. That's why consciousness is the name of the game and the key. We can do all the marching, all the this, all of that. the inability of people to get along together. That's the name of that. The answer to that is consciousness. Raising it. Because there are just certain things that cannot happen when consciousness is a certain level. That's the name of the game. That's what my higher self always talks about. Consciousness. People say, oh, let's end war. Let's do... Not going to end as long as the consciousness is at the level of war. You gotta raise it. But say, I want peace. I want this. I want that in the world. What's going on inside of you? Is there peace hanging out? Because if there's ain't no peace hanging out in here, you can ask for peace out there till the cows come home. It must start here. You want to love this? You want to love yourself and all of that? We talk about self-love, self-worth. Very important. But guess what's not going to come if there's a war going on inside? Not love. Not love. Because if you don't like what's going on in here, that's the thing's got to change. Then love will be a natural consequence. You make it peaceful in here and everything else comes. You don't have to look to love yourself. You make it peaceful in here. And when you love being in here, you fall in love with everything about this, about yourself. That's the key. Because if there's all kinds of a war going on, you don't like the way you feel. You don't like being in the body. You don't like being here. You think you don't belong here. You're going home. You want to go home. And all of this stuff. I don't belong here. If you did not belong here, you wouldn't be here. It all starts with ending all of that in here. Doing the shadow work. Not the pretend shadow work. The real shadow work. Then you start loving in here. Then everything else will start to turn to heaven. Because heaven is a state of mind. Hell is a state of mind. This energy will help you. It'll help you elevate yourself to where you want to be. Okay. Did I hit everything? No. Oh, I ended at trust and faith. And raising your level of consciousness. We talked about intuitive boosts. We thought about unhooking a bit from the logical mind. Not becoming completely illogical. But knowing when logic is where you need to be, and then when you're working with spirit, not allowing your logical mind to get in the way of what spirit is trying to get you to do. Because you need logic and reason to be here. But you have to know when to put that, that should be put in its proper place, and when it has no business creeping into the spiritual process going on within you. That's a hard thing for many of us to do. Because the but why question comes up a lot in the background. But why? Right. Sometimes you can't know. You just got to push ahead and you'll find out later. Because oftentimes there's even an explanation for that most of the time. Most of the time you must move without knowing. Because once it gets into the mind before you move, the mind has a way of corrupting things that spirit has for you. Suddenly now the mind's corrupted. Because it got there, it's corrupted. The mind's corrupted it. Now It's finished. Because the mind became the decider. So spirit overrides the mind by telling you often, you need to move. Do this, do that, do that, do that, do that, and it doesn't make any sense. The minute it makes sense, that means it's in the mind. Once it's in the mind, if it doesn't make sense to the mind will disregard it and corrupt it and convince you that you shouldn't do it. So spirit overrides the mind and then tells you, you have to trust me. You have to trust yourself. You have to have faith in yourself. You see why you need trust and faith in yourself? Because you need to be an agent that prevents the mind from corrupting the purity of what your spirit has for you. That's why often you're told things and it doesn't make sense and you don't know why. Because the minute it goes into that section of who you are, which isn't who you are, by the way, you are not your mind. And your mind is finite. It has limitations. So what do you think happens when you take an unlimited thing and you put it in a limited thing? You've just cut away the power of your existence when you do that. So spirit will not allow that to happen. So you're supposed to know without knowing. Yeah, you're supposed to know that you listen to your spirit. You may not know why. Your spirit doesn't work that way all the time. Sometimes the spirit says do this and you know why and all of that, and it's through the mind, boom. But if it's something that the mind has an opportunity to corrupt, which means convince you that it doesn't make any sense to do it, then spirit will not allow that. See, spirit can see what's going to happen before it happens. So the way to really overcome that is that you must have faith in and trust in your spirit. And you build that faith and trust by asking your higher self to give you little tasks that you can become successful in, and you build on that success so that when your spirit has something big for you to do, you've got a track record of success. How are we separate from our spirit? Well, the separation from spirit equivalent is actually an illusion. It's an illusion of separation. Because spirit is the one that animates and creates everything. And within spirit's creation, it gives you, which is an aspect of spirit, the opportunity to do and have the free will and choice to go against it. It gave itself, you, free will and choice to go against its desires. That's part of the rules of being here. Sounds confusing? Perhaps it sounds confusing. I said 15 minutes, but this is an important thing to explain here. And I'll do it really quickly, and then we'll get to our guided contemplation that I talked about. I tell this story many times, but it's one of the most important ones I tell because every time I tell it, there are a few people who have never heard it. And it clarifies, because this picture must be clear if you are to be successful in your path. How are you separate from your spirit? That's a great question. You are the great I once upon a time. The I is the creator. The I is the animator of your soul and everything about you. The I has no limitations, knows everything, and is everything. This is who you are at your core. But you see, you being the I, knowing everything, are everything, the creator, That's not a very good position to be in. Could you imagine knowing everything, being everywhere, all at once? Where's the adventure in that? Right? Where do you expand? How do you become more? How do you grow when you know everything, are everything, and is everything, and can do anything? How do you grow? Could you imagine having nowhere else to go but where you are? Just imagine that. Where you are right now as a person, you could never grow, you could never be any more, all of it, because you already know it all. So, you solve this conundrum by taking a piece of yourself, and when you take that piece of yourself, you drop down in frequency. This is you at the eye level. And you drop down in frequency to become what I call the me. The me is the part of the I, right now this, you who asked the question, we are the me's. So you see how we're not separate from spirit? We are a piece of that great spirit. Drop down in frequency from pure light in this physical reality for the purpose of your eternal self to create and expand. So the one that is unlimited has put itself in a very limited capacity. The physical body, the soul, the mind, all limited. Because in this state, you don't know everything, you're not everything, you're none of it. The idea is for you in this limited capacity to then forget who you are, that's the rules in this reality, completely. Forget that your I even exists. And thus, the illusion that you're separate. When you spiritually awaken, it is the journey back to that connection. And when you connect as the limited one to the one that is unlimited, that is when you become the great, great, great being you came down here to be. Because you're not going to do that completely disconnected from the infinite one that knows everything that you need to do. But you and the me, the kicker is, you, the me, can choose not to participate with the I that is also you. I think I've just been mostly agreeing with you. I understand you are your own and have limitations. Yes, that's the limited part of you, but you're not just this. You're not the limitation. You've just been placed in it. Right? Because you're not the body, you're not the mind, you're not the emotions. They all belong to you. We say my body, we say my mind, right? And we say my emotions. How do I feel? My feelings. Just like we say my phone. So the minute you say my something, it cannot be you. It belongs to you, but it's not you. The part of you that it belongs to is the I. Which, by the way, is not separate anywhere else from you up here. It is the one that is within you. So when we say everything's within you, we're inadvertently talking about the I. Because the I, as I said earlier, is what? Knows everything, is everything, has everything, creator, blah, 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 blah. That's why you must go within. Because that I is nowhere else out there. The I is the envy of every God, everything that wants you to bend the knee and worship it. It is the envy. The true you is the envy of everything on this planet. So, Now you understand why you're not separate from the I, that it's just an illusion? With humility and grace, humans are heavy. Make peace with your limitations is tremendously powerful. Continue to grow and don't be ashamed. Thank you, Nathan, for that. Okay, I'm going to envy is an emotion already. Are you talking to someone else? Because I didn't get any questions about envy. We're talking about connection and the illusion of separation. All of this comes with so many emotions. You're not your emotions either. Thank you, Captain Kirk. You're not your emotions either. You must separate your mind, your body, and your emotions from who you are. They're very important. You need all three of them, but you cannot identify with them because they're not who you are. None of them. You need them, but they're not who you are. And so so I also am not telling you to deny or suppress your emotions. I just want you to comprehend, understand, and understand that your emotions are not you. They serve a purpose. They are tools. Your body serves a purpose. It is also a tool. And your mind serves a purpose. They are also a tool. And to separate yourself from them so that you become more aligned with the I, the true you, meditation does that. When done properly. When done properly. And do not give your power over to your emotions or anything else other than the I. Okay, you guys, thank you so much. Thank you so much. Let's get to our guided contemplation. Thoughts on tarot? Tarot is brilliant. Tarot is brilliant. I'll talk a little bit about that. It activates certain parts of your of the mind. It also is a tool that's great at strengthening intuition and communication with your higher self, with your ancestors, and with your deep self. You can also use it to talk to other beings that are not those things as well. It activates certain parts of the mind and is one of the most powerful spiritual tools. And you don't have to do tarot for other people. You can do tarot for yourself. Because I highly advise people to not do tarot for other people until they have developed enough spiritual moxie and strength. And most importantly, a relationship with themselves, with the three aspects that I always talk about: self, higher self, ancestors, inner child. If you are not fully connected, fully with a great relationship with them, you could run into a lot of trouble doing tarot for other people because you don't know what kind of energy they're bringing. And if you're not prepared to deal with it, you have stuff attached to you and you won't even know why or where it came from. You do for yourself mostly? Fantastic. If you want to do for other people, I don't discourage that. I just say, get this together first. Same thing I say when people spiritually awaken and they want to work on healing others and doing all kinds of healing modalities on people. You better be squared away here first. Or otherwise, you'll be like some of the people that come to me who have gone and done this kind of stuff and they're completely sideways. And then we go in and find out they got all kinds of energies because they went too soon and didn't do the work of home, connecting to self and strengthening and doing the inner work and shadow work that they need to do. Okay, let's get to our guided contemplation. For those of you who are new here and you haven't done this before, this is a great time because we're going to do this and work with our with this energy, the 888 portal, the divine within us, the power that we have within us, our minds, and everything else that we bring to the table. In these contemplations, we have two rules. Rule number 1, no harm to yourself or others. Real simple. Rule number 2, everything for the highest good of yourself and others. That's it. That's it. And if any of those two rules are violated, the whole thing will shut down for you. Right? And so we clear this room so that it supports and assists everyone here. And no vampiric energy is welcome. Must be banished. Full stop. No energy that impedes, distracts, interferes, or interrupts with the wonderful intentions that you are bringing to the table, along with the community that's doing so. Right? So we clear that so you get fully supported in every single way. And we welcome this 888 portal, and we welcome the divine. The divine is nowhere else but within you, nowhere else outside. Within you, the divine within you. You consciously connect with the divine that is within you. And with that, we work together. Now, the first thing is, this is what you're going to do to participate in this, is have an intention that you have for yourself. Maybe it's to maximize, this is a recommendation, you don't have to do any of it, maximize what you're going to get from this energy. That's a good one. And then have an intention for what you would like to see happen on the planet. So in other words, you see, there's an intention for your highest good, and an intention for the highest good of others. You see, it's so important. And so think of something. And by the way, if you can't think of anything, just say, I allow the divine to create my intention. That's what I do most of the time anyway. Why? It moves it from the mind and removes it from duality. So you can do that. I ask the divine to create an intention that is in my highest good. And I ask the divine is your higher self, to create an intention that's for the highest good of everyone on the planet. And I present myself as a vehicle for such divine things. Boom. That's it. And and then we have one overarching intention. And it's the same every time. Unity conscious upon planet Earth. Unity consciousness is the consciousness that we were in when we were evolving at such a high rate that beings who call themselves gods decided to work against us. They were supposed to be supporting us, but they worked against us because we were evolving so quickly and we were doing it without them. We didn't forget about them or anything, but we were doing it, and we really didn't need their assistance as much because we were unified and truly one with the divine. So we're bringing that back, because if you think that that's not if that's not important, look and see what happens when two people start rubbing a stick together. They do everything to get in the way of that. Everything. The minute people start to unite and get together, watch and see how everything happens to break them apart. Unity is the key. Community is where it's at. All right, so unity consciousness, which has wrapped within it Christ consciousness, which is not anything to do with a man, because Christ is a title. It isn't a name. That consciousness is within unity consciousness. Unity consciousness within it brings Christ consciousness, amongst other things. Divine feminine consciousness, balance, all of that is brought within unity consciousness. All right, let's get started. The first thing we do, I'll talk you through it. You don't have to, you already got all the qualifications you need. You were born with them. Nobody can give them to you, right? You got it all within you. Because I can't say that all along and then tell you, oh, you need to, no, it's all within you. You don't need anything. All you need is within you. So the first thing we do is we look down to the factory where the work's done, the belly brain, the seat of the emotions. And then we imagine, I want you to do this now, because this part of us has roots, and these roots are meant for us to be able to connect to the wonderful planet, Gaia. Right? So I want you to imagine roots going down from the belly brain, down through the thighs, down through the legs. And then if you have people below you, just with your intention, send those roots to the side, because you don't want them to go straight down to other people's energy fields. Because if you're sensitive enough, you will feel it. It won't be comfortable, and you won't know why. And they'll feel uncomfortable. They won't know why. Right? And then you'll go like, what's Papa Guru asking me to do? Because this is uncomfortable. I don't like it. So to do that, avoid that. Just send them off to the side to avoid other people's energy fields. The next thing you want to do, and just trust the process as you send those roots down. And the purpose of sending them down is to connect to our wonderful planet. And we do so with gratitude. That's a heart energy. And we want to work from our hearts, not from up here, from the heart. So when we have gratitude or love or compassion, appreciation, any one of those or all of them, those are heart emotions. And so when you're in them, you're in the heart. That's what you want to be for this. Okay. Now, the second thing you want to do is imagine a line coming from your heart, and it curves like a loop and lovingly connects to the heart of our wonderful planet. Just imagine that. And then it comes back around and connects fully in a full circuit with your heart. Just this exercise alone will help to bring phenomenal transformation to you. Just this, connecting with the earth. And when you connect with the earth from the belly brain, that connection looks like a holding of hands. Right? A holding of hands. And then you connect the heart to the planet. Because she's the one that feeds and sustains us and allows all of this to happen. I know a lot of people want to talk about God and stuff, but right here, the planet is the one that's maintaining us, sustaining us, and doing everything. And we're talking about something we can't even see, touch, hear, or feel. We feel, touch, hear, and are one down here with this planet. Give her the credit she's due. All right. So now the next thing we're going to do is go up and then just imagine and ask for the energy from Source and the Divine Mother through your higher self to cleanse, clear, clean, and repair your energy field. And you don't need to do anything but ask in gratitude. For they don't want anything from you. They don't want you to bend the knee. They don't need your worship or any of that. Because they are you and within you at the same time. They just want to see you succeed, grow your consciousness, and become the best you could ever become. Just like a parent would want for their child. Just like a wonderful, loving parent would want for their child. That's what they want for us. Now, let us imagine, let's connect to the inner child within us and also the divine within us. I always say inner child because that's you before the programming. That's you without all the nonsense. That's you before you were unplugged and plugged into the sick, false reality that you're now unplugging from. This part of you is the true you, an aspect of that divine higher self. We'll get into all of this in our community of how that could be. Now, we gather our intentions and we, with command and with the support and backing of the divine, we declare our intentions and we put them forth. No meat begging. We are now one with the Creator that is within us. And that's the only thing we are humble to. Nothing else. And we declare, we put our intentions out. And I will now begin with the details of that by first bringing any agreements, bonds, vows that we've made that would, whether we did them knowingly or unknowingly, that would stand in the way of these wonderful intentions that we're putting out. And anything that stands against these intentions, we transmute that energy from wherever it is coming from, and we change it into something that works for our behalf. Full stop. And we remove any impedances, blockages, thought forms, interruptions, interference, and any other energy that is related, directly or indirectly. We transmute it all. We dissolve, transmute, dispel, and disintegrate them now. And working with the divine, here's the great thing. We just have to have the desire. In other words, the why. And the divine takes care of the how, the what, the where, the when, even the who. Not our concern. We don't have to worry about that. We are just the ones here on the ground, becoming the vehicles that bring those intentions onto the physical reality. That is where our power lies. Now, we do not also accept any retributions or vengeance for ending patterns and behaviors that do not serve us, do not serve those directly or indirectly related to us, and that do not serve humanity. We will accept no retributions for that. And we also include any energy, system, or frequency related. And that includes any clauses to set agreements Any if this then that clauses or replacements. Full stop. And we now include all systems, energies, and frequencies related. And we do so in every timeline and temporal location, every dimension, level, realm, density, or reality. In every universe, multiverse, omniverse, infinite verse, past, present, future, any mirrored or altered dimensional states of being and states of mind. And we also remove any and all contraptions that would seek to interfere. And we do so through all time, no time, anti-time, subtime, all space, no space, anti-space, subspace, everywhere and nowhere, and throughout all parallel lives, existences, realms, realities, and throughout all creation. From the sovereign authority of our core inner beings, we declare any of the aspects and facets that were named, including those that were not, fully and completely and thoroughly null and void. And we also remove any permissions, whether we gave them knowingly or unknowingly, willingly or unwillingly. We also now invoke the return to rightful owner clause. Any of our own energies that we've put into any of these arrangements or agreements, we now ask for them to be brought back in their cleansed and original state to our higher selves, to be brought back to us in divine timing and in the most benevolent ways possible. We also now embrace and welcome the divine energy of the 888 Lionsgate portal. And we ask the divine to assist us in taking advantage of every single bit of this energy for our highest good in the most benevolent way possible. And to assist us so that we can see in a clear way all of the messages and all of the abundance and all the goodness and sacredness of these energies, so that we can raise our consciousness and become what we originally came here to be, full stop, without any interruptions. And we dissolve, dispel, and disintegrate from every level of our being any implants, impulses, paradigms, narratives, beliefs, world perceptions, the way we see the world, self-beliefs, self-perceptions, so that we can have the self-beliefs that are befitting of a divine being. For what you believe about yourself determines how you show up in the world. And how much you can accomplish. And how you see yourself, self-perceptions, dictate how you influence others in a positive way. For how you see yourself and what you believe about yourself can never be overcome. I want you to think about that. How you see yourself and what you believe about yourself can never be overcome. So make sure that those two things are not limited, because if they limit you, you will never grow past those limitations. Now, let us also include any sadness, sickness, and fragmentation. And let us include every system, energy, frequency Let this be done for the highest good of all, with divine harmony and divine timing, and the most benevolent outcomes possible. And so it is. So, I am finished, but if you're not, please. The divine works on its own time. We call that divine harmony, divine timing, rather. So if you're still in your process with your higher self, maybe releasing or whatever it is that you're doing, stay in there for as long as you need to be. You don't have to come out because I and some others have. Thank you. You're welcome. Thank you all. JC and Alex. Thank you for the kind words. SPX, I'll just call you SPX. Hey, Whitney, happy 888 years to you as well. And if any of you have any comments, maybe if you have any, share your experiences during the guided contemplation, we encourage that. It also helps others to see. Because sometimes this kind of thing is very hard for some of us to actually believe anything's happening. Trust me, it is. Plenty is happening. Thank you for reminding us, reminding everyone, JC. Don't forget to sub to the newsletter in the bio. Thank you. Gracias también, Delia. O de nada. Hey, you guys, I'm here on this Sunday. I'm not going to promise, I may drop in on Saturday. But I'm here Sunday again. This time, not as late for some of you. 8 a.m., 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'm always here on Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. And Sundays, 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I feel like you just acted as my spiritual attorney. I've been cleared. It's funny you say that, Kim Collective, because this clearing is devised and sounds a lot like a legal document, does it not? It's written that way. Because our legal system comes from the astral realm, from the beings, from the beings who wrote people into contractual agreements. So you say them in the same way. And they must listen. Of course, you have to agree that you want to free yourself from them. So once you do that, then that's all the divine needs. I've listened to a lot of gurus, and I can say I resonated with every word you said. Oh, thank you. Thank you, SPX. I appreciate that. I don't talk about why I call myself a guru a lot. But I've been a guru for many, 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 many lifetimes. And back when you had to have a belief system, I was Hindu. This is before this life. And so the being that is me in many previous lives was known as Papa Guru. Of course, that's not my birth name. So I call myself Papa Guru in honor of that wonderful ancestor. And I don't call myself Guru because I want you to look outside of yourself to me as your Guru, but because there is one in you. And for me to point to that one, I must first be an example of it. So the name is to remind you of the wisdom that is within you. Something like the laws. Yeah, yeah. And by the way, this clearing is also devised. I will also teach this clearing in our spiritual community, but not in this way. It won't sound like this. You don't have to remember all the things that I say and all that. It'd be much more simple, but just as effective and just as powerful. Nothing's missing. It also has the 7 universal laws of the universe within it. You have to really look carefully to find them, but every single one of them are in there. Papa, since 3 days ago, I connect to Mother Earth and I'm feeling bliss. I got so many answers with, oh, phenomenal, great healer. I love that. I love that. And I get my heart is felt so warm. You've been doing this connecting for a while. I always encourage people to do it, but you've been doing it for a while. Not because she's told me, by the way. This is just what I'm getting. And if it's not right, you let me know. And so this happens when you finally build a relationship. It isn't like it's like anything else. If you go to a friend, so-called friend, whenever you want something or whenever you need something, and that's the only time you hear from them or they hear from you, that friend is going to start not seeing you as a friend because you're only coming to them when you want something. But when you knock on the door just to say hi, to see how they're doing, when you knock on the door and you just made a nice meal, and you know they just came home from work 5 minutes ago, and you know they haven't cooked anything, and you show up at their doorstep, and you go, hey, I cooked dinner. I know you just came home. Here, that's building a relationship. When you connect to the planet all the time, when you connect to your ancestors, you speak to them. That's building a relationship. Then the quality of your life begins to change as a result of that relationship. Not every once in a while when you get around to it and all of that. So Great Healer Lily has built a relationship with with Mother Earth. And so Mother Earth lets her know and imparts that to her, not as a reward. This is not based on rewards, but because the natural consequence of building a relationship with the earth results in what she's talking about. That's it. It's not a reward. It's not you do this for me, I do that for you. That's the old days. But she spent the time cultivating that relationship. Now the earth responds. I'm so happy that you've done that. Something about when you said benevolence felt warm in my core, like a deposit of some sort. Oh, that's so cool to hear. So your higher self deposits that. Benevolence is one of my favorite words. When you use that word, it means highest good with the deepest and kindest of intentions. Right? Benevolent, where the word beneficial comes from. And so this particular clearing that I created many years ago, this is my creation, with some inspiration and assistance from other people, right? Because we all contribute to everything in some way, whether negative or positive. Benevolent is used in there because it cannot be misconstrued with anything else than the best and the highest good. So that's one of the words that are purposely been placed in it. The nature of divinity itself has been up. That's why it's there. Thank you, Kim Collective. Absolutely. Absolutely. Oh, thank you, thank you. This background scenery, Mocha Gold, is a place somewhere in Croatia, and someone I didn't know I got this scenery, and I didn't know where it was. People were asking me, and then a couple of people, I think 3 people, told me where it was. 2 of them are from Croatia. And I said, oh, that's a place, and I forget the name of it, in my country. Thank you, thank you. The heart wrapping around the earth analogy was very potent. I imagined it, yeah. That is a very, and it's a very healing, very potent energy. You can do that all the time, you know? Just imagine that loop, and when you do it from the heart, with the emotions of the heart. Love, compassion, gratitude, appreciation, all heart-centered emotions. And when you're bringing that, connecting to the potent, and then you connect with the roots of the seed of your emotions. If you just do that, upward to receiving and giving. Oh, phenomenal. Fantastic. All right. Oh, wow. You guys, thank you so much. We had 42K for the amount of people. That's a lot. I have to tell you, for the amount of people that were here. It's just phenomenal. And I'm glad you guys were here to take advantage of, to at least get some information on what to do with this time of the year. And Croatia is so beautiful. We are lucky we can just drive there. Oh, wow, you can. Oh, I want to go. I want to go there one day, Great Lily. Yeah, this background is from there. I have another beautiful background on the opposite side. It's of a great tree. This I know is, well, you never know. It probably is a drawing of somewhere else, but this one I think is just made by an artist, not anywhere in particular, but this one is. And I like it because it's a path. In a lot of our things, we have the path through nature to signify the spiritual path. A lot of our things, we will have that path in there. It's a part of our messaging, being on the path. Thanks, Papa G. I appreciate you sharing your creativity and intent. A mindful moment is appreciated. Oh, thank you so much, Kim Collective. I really appreciate and humbled by your comment, by your kind words. I can't thank you enough for pointing me back inside and for the direction and encouragement. Yeah, because it's all within you, Nick Marie. It really is. And I know we say that, and we say that so much, it's kind of boring. So I like to extend as to why it is. So it's not just something you hear and it just falls empty because you hear it so much. All right, SPX, thank you. And again, you guys, I'll be back on Sunday at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time. I'll also be dropping a couple of TikToks. I'll be talking about this 888 portal as well, probably a couple of TikToks and such. Again, thank you guys for all being here. Good night, Michelle. Great live tonight. Energy was awesome and on point. Thank you, Michelle. By the way, Michelle, I don't know if you're still here, but I never got your message. I think I have to do something different with with my messenger. I reloaded the app and oh yeah, yeah. Are you sure though? It's the celebration. And Energy Flow is this. She's saying it might be a good idea to go live tomorrow night. But I want you guys to know, and I want you to wish Energy Flow a happy birthday. Her and her son, Zane, are celebrating birthdays tomorrow. So she just said, hey, maybe we go live tomorrow. But we're going to be doing karaoke. I think we might record the karaoke and the what do you guys say? Karaoke and maybe do like a carousel TikTok video so you guys can kind of be a part of it. And maybe if she sings, you guys can hear her sing. Thank you. Yeah, wish her a happy birthday. Fantastic. So we're going to be celebrating tomorrow. Thank you all for the birthday wishes. And yeah. We might, or you know what? I've just gotten the idea. Maybe we can even have some of the birthday live. It all depends, because sometimes you don't want to. Sometimes things are private. We're not the type of people that everything's got to be on social media. Well, maybe that we'll see how it goes tomorrow. Okay, you guys. Thank you guys so much. I'm going to end it for tonight. And hopefully, maybe one day in between today and Sunday, hey, you guys, you have a great rest of the night. We out ya.